Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, house owner of BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis, in the county seat of the state of Tennessee. Today is early Monday morning, July the 27th, 2020. Time 5:06 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my supporters for your continued care and support, and continue to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area, and continue to further my education more work on when I continue to pursue my social degree, studying, being administrative, concentrating my in present time, taking a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College online to continue to pursue my social degree, studying, being administrative, concentrating tomorrow. Did my video yesterday, Sunday, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and night. Did the Instagram and was able to do the Periscope, and I'm doing my video today, early Sunday, late Sunday night, early Sunday morning, Monday morning, and so like I said, I was able to get the upload and like I said again, because of the COVID-19, the coronavirus, COVID-19, YouTube is kind of slow with the uploading the processing of the video, and so but irregardless, I was able to get the video recorded and uploaded yesterday. So my YouTube channel video was done, and so again today I'm gonna do my Instagram. I ain't only I'll probably be about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go straight to my Facebook Live. So what I'm gonna do now, but we're gonna still continue to put emphasis on Mr. Sam Cooke's criminal case, the murder case. And like I said, I have a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. That is the state of California's court, the criminal court of appeals, and from Celebrity Archive, $25, and it's very useful because it gives you very insight into the crime that was committed by the court. See, it's not just the crime that was committed against Mr. Sam Cooke by this stupid woman who was the manager at this motel, Bertha Franklin, first degree murder. But it was also the crime that was committed in the courtroom, and which was totally unjust. It was unjust. There was no such thing. There was no such thing as no justifiable homicide, as I've been showing in going by the statements that were made by Bertha Franklin that she gave to the police officer in her own statement. And again, that street girl, Eliza Bozer, completely wiped out any thing that stupid girl got to say. So let's go ahead, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to go straight to Facebook Live. But I want to make sure on my YouTube channel I have it, that I show that I do have a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, this coroner report. So that so I'm gonna go to my Instagram right now. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county sheriff in the state of Tennessee. And the day is early Monday morning. It's July the 27th, 2020, time 5:13 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued care support. Anti-gang. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now, I want you to remember these words: coercion, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now, first, always give thanks to God for all the blessings and the guidance that God provides us all with, and always put God first. And I did my Instagram yesterday, and then I did my Periscope yesterday, and today I'm doing my Instagram, and I'm gonna do my Facebook Live. Now, I've been continuing to be an advocate for Mr. Sam Cooke's the murder case, and Bertha Franklin, stupid Bertha Franklin tried to get out of a murder charge by trying to claim that Mr. Sam Cooke tore the door down. And as you can see, when I continue to present the facts, excuse me, when I continue to present the facts in the case, you see that Bertha Franklin is a liar. She's a murderer. That self-defense, getting into a struggle with Mr. Sam Cooke, and then after getting into a struggle with Mr. Sam Cooke, you stood up on your feet. Mr. Sam Cooke stood back up on his feet after this struggle. That's the fact in the case. See, when you get into a struggle, that is self-defense. You get into a struggle, that's self-defense. And see, in the criminal court of appeals, when Mr. Sam Cooke and Bertha Franklin stood back up after this struggle, see, that's not self-defense. That's first degree murder. That's first degree murder. So now, so as you can see, I do have a copy of Mr. Sam Cook's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. That is the state of California Criminal Court of Appeals. And as you can see, the facts in the case, Mr. Sam Cook was unjustly murdered, and his beautiful wife, Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, had to be informed that her husband, Mr. Sam Cook, had been murdered. His two beautiful daughters, Linda and Tracy, who were little children at the time of this senseless crime that this stupid Bertha Franklin had committed. And as well as Mr. Sam Cook's family, his mother and father, who were still alive at the time, his sisters and brothers, all his nieces and nephews, and Mr. Sam Cook, other children, and all his grandchildren, all of Miss Barbara Campbell Cook's grandchildren, and Mr. Sam Cook was unjustly murdered. And like I said, this stupid girl, this stupid street girl, don't have anything to say. It don't have any bearing on the case. So I done already addressed that. Don't have anything to do with it. And this stupid Bertha Franklin, who was the manager at the motel. This incident happened in the manager's living quarters. That's a key fact in the case, that Bertha Franklin was the manager. She was unqualified for the job. And Mr. Sam Cook was unjustly murdered by this stupid woman, Bertha Franklin. First degree murder. It's first degree murder. Now let's go to Facebook Live. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. Like I said, we're gonna go to Facebook Live. Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county of State of Tennessee. And the date is early, Monday morning, July the 27th, 2020. Time 5:23 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support, for your continued care and support. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. I want you to remember these words: coercion, sexual coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now, first, always give thanks to God for all the blessings and the guidance that God provides us all with. And always put God first. And this weekend I had the opportunity to be off on Saturday and Sunday, so I didn't have to go to work, so I was able to do my video yesterday, did my Instagram, and did my Periscope. And today I'm doing my Instagram. I just finished doing my Instagram, and now I'm doing my Facebook Live. And I'm going to continue to be an advocate for Mr. Sam Cooke and family as well. Unjust murder of Mr. Sam Cooke. And the crime not only was committed against Mr. Sam Cooke at the motel by Bertha Franklin, this stupid woman who was the manager at this motel, but also the crime that was committed in the court against Mr. Sam Cooke and his family. Now, Mr. Sam Cooke's wife at the time had to be informed, Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke had to be informed that her husband had been murdered. And I can sympathize with Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke on something like that. That's something that a wife should never have to hear. That your husband been murdered. At the time, his two beautiful little daughters who were children at the time, Linda and Tracy, had to be informed that their father had been murdered. Sam Cooke had been murdered. That's not no easy thing for a little girl, a little child to embrace, to understand. It's one thing for your parent to die, to be deceased, but to say murder, you killed my father. And then to add injury to insult, then you go into the courtroom, then you try to make it sound like it was right what you did. But Sam jumped on me, so I killed him. No, that's not how it went. That's a lie. I have a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, the coroner's report, which I purchased from Celebrity Archive for $25. And like I said, I have a copy. That is the actual autopsy. That is the coroner's report. The state court of, the state of California, the coroner, and the facts, the inquest and all that. That is the facts of the basic facts of the case. And like I said, it was wrong what the court did. It was wrong. There's no such thing. There's no way in the world there could have been no justified motive. First of all, Bertha Franklin was the manager, and the incident happened in the manager's quarters at the motel. See, this is one of the facts that I'm going to continue to present. See, when you get up on the stand running off at the mouth talking about you fear for your life, see, you ain't bring up any of the state laws about the manager's position. And see, you was an unqualified person in the first place. That's another fact that's being presented to the court. You were unqualified to be in a manager position. You don't have any qualifications to be in a position of a manager. That's a serious thing. That's serious in the court of law. There are laws in the state of California as well as in all 50 states and U.S. territory, including federal law. There are laws about that. And you broke the law. You tried to get out of a murder charge by trying to tell if Sam Cooke tore the door down. Yes, Mr. Sam Cooke tore the door down. That's what I continue. But to be truthful, it don't have anything to do with it. It don't have anything to do with it. See, when you get into the facts of the case, you'll see it don't have anything to do with the case. The actual murder, I mean, this was something that happened before Mr. Sam Cooke was murdered. Yes, Mr. Sam Cooke tore the door down. Yes. And as I continue to be presenting, Mr. Sam Cooke walked right past Bertha Franklin. Walked right past. Didn't even say anything to you, so it don't have anything to do with the murder. Even the criminal court of appeals, they won't even paying attention to nothing you say because it don't have any bearing on the case. It was just something Mr. Sam Cooke did prior to his murder. He tore the door down, yes, looking for this stupid street girl. But when it comes to Bertha Franklin, he never laid a hand on you. After he tore the door down, that's a key fact. He never touched you. Didn't even say anything to you. Just walked right past you and started looking around in the manager's quarter for this stupid street girl. After Mr. Sam Cooke saw that this stupid street girl wasn't in the manager's living quarter, then there was some other things that took place. That's the reason why it don't have any bearing on the murder case. Now, This is a map of all the people on the earth. Now this is the Albanian language map. And this is a Baltic language map. And this is a Greek language map. And this is a Slavic language map. And this is the Altaic language map. And this is the Euro-Altaic language map. And this is a Romanian language map. Now, the Romanian language is a Latin Romance language, and Romanian in the Romanian language known as Wallachia. Now this is a map of the languages of Africa. And this is a map of the languages of Africa. And this is the map of the language of the Africa. This is the Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. This is an Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. This is the Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. And this is the Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. And this is the Niger-Congo language distribution map. And this is a Niger-Congo language distribution map. title of this book is West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omusenu Waleno, Dr. P. Adam Moto Penguin. And the title of this book is African Traditional Religion, definition written by Dr. E. Baloja Adowu. Title of this book, African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. M. B. And the title of this book is Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S. M. B. Now, Webster's Third New International Dictionary gives the complete and total definition meaning of the word gang, the act, manner, means of going. stupid sorority and that stupid fraternity. They be calling themselves sister and brother in Latin. Man, a lot of these so-called celebrity athletes and celebrity entertainers, they went to college and joined, they members of the sorority and fraternity. And they be calling themselves a blood and a crib and going around talking about they are bloodstone, vandalized, all that stupid mess. And then over there at the Catholic Church and all that particular church, see that's the reason why they go over there, because they're occult literature. And then over there at the Protestant Reformation Movement Church and 95 Thesis Church, that's where they go. See, because that's still the Catholic Church and all that particular church. And then the American Restoration Movement, the Stone Camel Movement, the Church of Christ. There ain't no such thing as no Church of Christ. No such thing as no Church of Christ. That's the Catholic Church and all that particular church. Stone and Camel doing a secret handshake. You see, that's the reason why all those celebrity athletes, celebrity entertainers, that's where they go. All that, because they're occult literature. Call the FBI. Call the Justice Department. See, they classmates. I mean, because the people at the Justice Department went to college. Use your common sense. You sitting around out on the street, the sorority and the fraternity, trying to influence the general public out on the street. Yeah, man, I went to college. I got a master's degree. I got a master's degree, a PhD. You could be in a gang. The United States Constitution. You got freedom of expression. You got freedom of speech. Gonna get your ass killed playing with grown people. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm from the East Coast. And I got some literature. You gonna get your goddamn ass killed playing with grown people. English dictionary give you complete and total definition meaning of the word gang. Action or mode of going way past a set of things or person. That stupid sorority, that stupid fraternity calling themselves sister and brother in Latin. See, over there at the Justice Department, you can't even get a job without having a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD. See, all these people went to college at the Justice Department, just like the stupid sorority fraternity. Their classmates, the FBI, all the people at the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and you know, you can't get no damn job at the Homeland Security, especially in the upper echelon of the Homeland Security, because you gotta have education. We don't live in that damn time where way back in 1700. This 2020. We live in a modern technological society. You gotta have a bachelor's degree. It's all that computer technology and lasers, and you know, you can't get a job working for the federal government, period. I mean, you know, basic, you know, I mean, some positions may not require that you necessarily have a bachelor's degree, some positions, but a lot of positions in the federal government, especially at the Justice Department, at the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, the ATF, man, I can go on and on. All the different branches of law enforcement at the federal level. You got to have a bachelor's degree, PhD, and they went to college, and you sitting walking your ass around talking about some sorority and fraternity out on the street. The United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act. The RICO Act is anti-gang. And the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention Control Act 1970, Control Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Act, Kingpin Act. It's all anti-gang. Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention. Then you have other related legislation, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Municipal Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the Bureau of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice, the United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Mission Project, say neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community Oriented Police Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Mission, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Bureau of Justice, the International Narcotics Law Firm of Affairs, the United States Department of State, the Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Related Education and Training, the GREAT Program, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center company states all against gang prevention overview research program, Mr. James A. Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice System, Office of Juvenile Justice, the Links Prevention, National Gang Center, Bulletin, and the title of book, History of Street Gangs in the United States. And you can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, you'll find the same information be titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney, Maryland, 1457 Criminal Street Gang, Stand 18, United States Code 521, the United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang 6, and you also have other federal, state, and local agencies, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, Suppression, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, changing course. preventing gang membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Education, United States Department of Health and Human Services, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. The National Forum Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum Youth Violence Prevention Forum, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang List, the Comprehensive Gang Model, the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice, the National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. Also, the United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. You can go to lawyer.com and be informed about anti-hazing. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. For example, state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North, South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says see also. You'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. Piracy and the pirates. You know that occult literature. Piracy and the pirates. That is that occult literature. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Linkage Prevention, the Bureau of Justice System, the National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States, written by Mr. James Howard, Mr. John P. Moore. And then you can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and you'll find that same information if you type gangs in the United States. Now, the pre-13 colony history. I want to get to history, just like we talking about the pirates and piracy. Now, Harvard University, the oldest institute in higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, came in Massachusetts. William Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institute in higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776, the College of William Mary, recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. First organization to adopt a word sorority with Gamma Phi Beta, established November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York, and the first women's fraternity, DuPont College, 18something. The basis of the sorority and fraternity is them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, and from Europe. And for example, the Eastern Star of Freemasons, talking about Euclid, the mathematician, the Alexander Eve, 1390, 1425, mentioned the Holloway manuscript, Reed's Point, Cook manuscript, the Downing manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe: Skull and Bone, the Rosicrucians, the Sons of Liberty, the Thug Society, the Proud Society, the Ordo Templarian, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order of Nobles, and the Shrine, the Improved Order, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star of the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Bethlehem, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veiled Prophets, of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druid, National Grain, Ancient Order of Hermanaeans, the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, the Spanish Garduna, the Carbonarian, the Black Hand, St. Mafia, it's Afro-Asiatic, St. Costa Nostra, it's Latin, the Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris. Now when it comes to street slang, gang plus stir, mob plus stir, Merriam-Webster Third New International Dictionary and Oxford English Dictionary give you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang plus stir and mob plus stir. Now you have other street slang: boss, goon, thug, crook, hooligan, mac, player, pimp, whore, hustler, nigga, field nigga, house nigga. You have street slang for music: hip hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. You have street slang for money: currency, exchange, bucks, rack, stack, band, bread, dough, scratch, loot, move, bend the dead breath, and street slang. Now, you have the sorority and fraternity. The United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. And the sorority and fraternity, they use hazing in the initiation ritual. The sorority and fraternity, they commit crime on and off the campus. See, they use hazing in the initiation ritual. In the initiation ritual is the occult. It's the occult. They be using that occult literature. Now, they use and abuse tobacco products. They indulge in gambling, games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities, and they indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. So don't be misled by the sorority fraternity like they trying to live right, trying to do what's right. No, they not. They criminals. See, all the persons that initially started the sorority, renounce them. and denounced the whole idea, the whole concept of a sorority fraternity. Now the sorority fraternity, they work and they manage the businesses, companies, and the corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They can make crimes against humanity, atrocities, violation of human rights, civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, and noise pollution. They destroy the environment, nature, and wildlife. Don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. For example, just like I mentioned yesterday, when you watch the local news and world news, and they talking about people complaining about wearing a mask during this pandemic, during this coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic. See, the sorority fraternity out on the street. See, that's where that comes from. Just like I brought it up yesterday. You got all these frontline workers at the hospitals and, you understand, the nursing homes and you know, the people in the medical and health field. And they've been complaining and been begging the politicians to get more disposable gloves, more face masks. We need more gowns and scrubs, and we need more hand sanitizer at the hospitals, because we on the front line. You got all these people with these infections, this coronavirus infection, coming to the hospital, and we don't have no disposable gloves. We don't have enough face masks. We don't have enough gowns and scrubs and, you know, all this stuff the doctors need to dispose of, so they won't have germs and infections, you understand, bacteria. And then you got these people in the general public who had the audacity to complain about wearing a face mask. Man, like I told you yesterday, I don't want your ass around me in public. If I'm at a restaurant or I'm at the supermarket or wherever I'm at in public, man, you better not be around me, because it'll be an incident on the street. Because I value my life. I don't even see how you can even have the audacity to complain about wearing a face mask and social distancing, keeping 6 feet apart. You ain't making no damn sense. But see, that's the sorority and fraternity out on the street. Just like all this damn protesting. See, you ain't concerned about social justice or any type of justice whatsoever. See, all that is the same thing. You worried about somebody listening to you. It's just like all that stuff talking about the East Coast and using some kind of occult literature and trying to claim that the East Coast is the base, and trying to claim Los Angeles, California is the base for the blood gang, the Crip gang, and the Bloodstone and all that. See, every time all that stuff is coming to the forefront, it's coming to being exposed, and you instigating and provoking other people, including me. See, I don't have to take that goddamn mess off you. You ain't no damn about it. You ain't no damn about it. Just like I told you. You out on the street telling people you've been to college and you got a bachelor's degree and you got a master's degree PhD. You be on the job, including on my job at my place of employment, trying to influence other people. But see, just like I told you, see your classmates, they over there at the Justice Department. They went to college too. The FBI, the ATF, and all that, and all them other, immigration, customs, the border patrol, and all that. You gotta have a bachelor's degree, PhD in certain positions. I mean, you know, with some positions it might not be a requirement, but still, the majority of positions in law enforcement at the federal level, you got to have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD. To work at the Justice Department, especially talking about dealing with the law, you got to have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontier, International Center for Human Rights. Now, Conservation, International Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Board, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice Conservation Volunteers, and Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity Native Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conserve, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Ocean Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. This is the International Bill of Human Rights. And see, that's another issue. See, you be going around talking about all this occult literature. See, the United Nations, that's all the people on the earth. So you going around talking about that occult literature. You currently going around talking about that occult literature. The United Nations, all the people on the earth. And this is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. The International Federation for Human Rights. The world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. Fauna and Flora International was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. Now the world's oldest global environmental organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. the Catholic Church and all that particular church, and they be using that occult literature. Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote a letter to the Smyrnaeans, and then in that letter he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church and 95 Thesis Church, that is the Catholic Church and all that particular church. They be using that occult literature. You see, all of them are celebrity athletes, celebrity entertainers. That's where they go. To the Catholic Church and all that particular church and all that Protestant Reformation Movement Church, 95 Thesis Church. That's where they go. Because of that occult literature. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Camel Movement, the Churches of Christ. That is the Catholic Church and all that particular church. Stone and Camel doing a secret handshake. There's no such thing as a Church of Christ. They be using that occult literature. Now Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He was a lying, murdering devil. He was an occultist. All them epistles that he wrote in the New Testament. See, the man-made religious orders, and they be using those epistles. This Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle. He is a self-proclaimed apostle. He is not no apostle. They try to see the Catholic Church and all that particular church and all the Protestant Reformation Movement Church, 95 Thesis Church, the American Restoration Movement, Stone Camel Movement Church, the Church of Christ. They the ones who be going around talking about Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle. Paul is an apostle. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle, he is not an apostle. For example, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the Holy Ghost. The church with the subject is Christ salute you. Another example, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory you in the church with the suffix es, O God, for your patient faith and all your persecution tribulation that ye endure. See, that's religious persecution, devil worship. There's no such thing as devil worship, no such thing as Satanism. They made it up. They took the word devil and Satan and worship out the Bible. That's persecution. It's religious persecution. No such thing, no theist Satan, no atheist Satan. There's no such thing as religious persecution. Now, the sorority and a fraternity, the alumni. You see the word cult at the top? They think they know every damn thing. And you see the people in the sorority fraternity. They try to make it sound like the ones that have been in the sorority fraternity for 20 years. Like they know every damn thing. But what they really imply that, see, it's a secret, it's like a secret order. And since you've been in the secret order for so many years, you went up the ranks in the secret order, but now you don't know every damn thing. Just because you got one PhD or two PhD, you don't know every damn thing. But what they really implying that you in that secret order, and you went up the ranks in the secret order, while the other ones just coming in. See, and they supposed to look up to you. You know damn about it. Now this is the occult literature. Western esotericism, Western mystery tradition, Hermetism, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, Rosicrucianism, now Freemasonry, the Eastern Star, Age of Enlightenment, Spiritualism, Kabbalah. Now you see the word macrocosm and microcosm. Pay attention to the two words occult and arcane. And you see exoteric. See, over there at the U.S. United States Justice Department, they know about this occult literature. So when you hear about when the sorority and the fraternity walking around in the community, on your job, at your place of employment, trying to influence you, trying to coerce you. See, over there at the United States Department of Justice, the classmates who went to college and have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, who went to college with the sorority fraternity. Over there at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the ATF and the U.S. Marshals and the Immigration and Customs and all them other federal law enforcement who've been to college. See, they know about this. They know about this occult literature. Look at the word up at top, occult. And you see the word arcane. See, esoteric. See, spiritualism, theosophy, anthroposophy, Hermetic order of the Golden Dawn, New Age. And then you got all this occult sides and occult qualities. See, over there at the United States Justice Department, they know about it. They know about it. They know about this occult literature. See, that was the East Coast beach, trying to claim the whole damn East Coast from the state of Florida all the way down to the state of Maine. See, that what you be using that occult literature. See, just like I told you. See, over there at the United States Justice Department, the classmates of the sorority and fraternity, they be out on the street, they be on the job. See, they've been to college too, they know about that occult literature. They know about it. See, just like I told you, see, you instigate and you provoke other people by going around lying. Going around lying. You see, you think you could play with other people. See, that what you be doing. You think you could play with other people. So you're going to find out the hard way. You're going to find out the hard way that that's not true. You can't instigate and provoke other people. You can't play with other people, no damn occult literature. See, you had a wrong opinion. You had this opinion that you can instigate and provoke other people. You can play with other people. Well, see, other people gonna show you that's not true. See, it's not true. You're gonna find out the hard way. continue to study the first century. Continue to study the first century. See, this first century, that's important. Because see, when you read the Holy Bible, you know, they've been saying, it's been said that a lot of the important events in the Holy Bible, like the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the death of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you understand, you know, that time frame, you know that time frame, the first century, the establishment of the church was during the first century, so it would make sense to study the first century and all this stuff about the Catholic Church and all the particular churches that, you know, all that, you know, how it started, you know, it would be important to study the first century. Now, we'll continue to study the ancient people in the Bible. The Amorites, they were Afro-Asiatic. The Egyptians, Afro-Asiatic. The Amalekites, they were supposed descendants of Esau. The Kenites, they were a nomadic tribe in the ancient Levant. Now, it says that Moses' father-in-law was a Kenite. The Canaanites, they were an ancient tribe, ancient people. The Kenizzites, they were ancient people. It said that Jephunneh, father of the Israelite leader, Caleb, is called a Kenizzite. And the Hittites, they were Indo-Europeans. The Perizzites, they were ancient people. The Rephaims, or Rephaites, they were also referred to as Zamzum, Emir, they were ancient people, considered to be giants. Canaanites, Canaan, son of Ham, grandson of Noah. Canaanite, an ethnic catch-all term covering various indigenous populations, both settler and nomadic pastoral groups throughout southern Levant and Canaan. And then you have the Gergesites. They were descendants of Canaan. And Jebusites, Jebus. And you have all these Hittites, Horites, Hurrians, the Philistines. They were they were not Afro-Asiatic. Philistines were not Afro-Asiatic, and it has not been determined that the Philistines were Indo-European. And the Moabites, Afro-Asiatic. The Midianites, they were Afro-Asiatic. And the Ammonites, they were Afro-Asiatic. Now see, these verses, God told you about that occult literature. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. See, God told you it's wrong. He told you divination, sorcery, witchcraft is wrong. Necromancy and all that is wrong. God told you, I'm your God. I'm your God. You don't listen to all this. It's wrong. See, in the Ten Commandments, see, God made it perfectly clear. I am the Lord, thy God. It's wrong that occult literature is wrong. There's no such thing. No such thing. It's wrong. It's wrong. That occult literature is wrong. We're finna go there soon. It's wrong. It's wrong. That occult literature is wrong. The Holy Bible, the Old Testament, the 5 books of Moses, the book of Exodus, chapter 20, the 10 Commandments, verses 1 through 17. I mean, you can read the whole chapter. It's wrong. That occult literature is wrong. Chapter 20, Exodus chapter 20, start reading in verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, listen, it's very important. I am the Lord. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thy God. Thy God. God telling you in the Bible, in the Ten Commandments, the second verse, I'm your God. When God tell you I'm your God, you don't listen to nobody else, because there is nobody else. There's only one God. And that's the only person. That's the only one you listen to is God. I'm your God, thy God. That occult literature, that's what man wrote. It's wrong. Meaning what? The devil. If it's not from God, then who is from? It's from the devil. You can listen to the devil. Straight to the point. If you're not listening to God, then who you listening to? Common sense. You listen to the devil. God didn't write that literature. Then who you listening to? Straight to the point. God didn't write that occult literature. Then who you listening to? You listening to the devil. That's the reason why God told you in verse number 2. He started out right to the point. I am the Lord. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thy God. You don't listen to no other. Straight to the point. Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. See, thou shalt have no other gods before me, because there is no other gods before God. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is in thy neighbor's. And then it was so important that God told you 5 times in the 10 Commandments, told you 5 times, I am the Lord thy God. See, if you're not listening to God, then you're listening to the devil. That occult literature is not God, then it's the devil. Straight to the point. Now let's go to the New Testament. Turn to the book of Matthew. To the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 35. For they asked our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, they asked him, what is the greatest commandment in the law? And like I said, you can go to the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. The book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. And also you go to the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 28. Again, that's the greatest commandment in the law. And it reads, we're in the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 35, 40. And it reads, then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Listen, pay attention. If you're not listening to Jesus, then who you listening to? You're listening to the devil. You listen to the devil. That occult literature. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he did not write that occult literature. Then who wrote it? The devil. Man, you was influenced by the devil. It wasn't Jesus Christ. Straight to the point. Jesus said unto him, listen, it's a command. Thou shalt love the Lord. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thy God. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was in the Old Testament. Now, in the New Testament, see, telling you the same thing. Thy God, with all thy heart. What that mean? See, in the Old Testament, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ told you about divination, sorcery, witchcraft. Told you not to do all that sacrificing to Molech. To keep the Sabbath day holy. works 6 days, then on the 7th day, don't work. See, in the book of Daniel, see, when you be reading about, see, it's not the 5 books of Moses. So you be like, well, if that ain't the 5 books of Moses, or the book of Ezekiel, what God is that? In the book of Psalms, in the book of Solomon, or the Ecclesiastes, that's not the 5 books of Moses. What God is there talking? Well, in the book of Michael, what God is there talking? In the book of Ruth, see, there was a lot of people. They claim they wrote these books and saying that God told them this. See, when you love God with all your heart, you believe, you have faith that the same God that through divine inspiration inspired those prophets like Samson or Samuel, the prophet Samuel, David, the same God in the book of Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Samuel. See, when you love God with all your heart, you turn to the book of Nehemiah, Habakkuk, that's the same God. The book of Malachi, Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, that you hear so many people in the Catholic Church, not the particular church, and all these preachers in the Protestant Reformation movement, Magnified Thesis movement, and then you hear all these ministers over there at the American Restoration movement, Stone Camel movement, the Church of Christ, Proverbs. See, when you love God with all your heart, that's the same God. And then you come to the New Testament, book of Matthew, the book of Mark, Luke, John, the book of Acts. See, you love God with all your heart. And you love God with all your soul. What that mean? You see, God made a prophecy. He told Abraham about his seed, and that through his seed, one will come. But see, when you love God with all your soul, see, all that stuff about the devil and Satan, when you talk about Adam and Eve and the serpent and being punished, see, when you hear about God punishing people in the Old Testament, it was God punishing. When David got punished by God, how did it make you feel about God? When you hear about, what's his name, Saul, before David, Saul got punished by God. And all the other people that you read about in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that were punished by God for being defiant, being disobedient. You love God with all your soul. Then you come to the New Testament. You come to the New Testament. The book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. See, Jesus came into the world to save you and me from our sins. you believe, you love God with all your soul, that you'll be saved, that your soul will go to heaven and not go to hell to be punished for all eternity with the devil. And then you love God with all thy mind, with all thy mind. Then what that mean? What that was? Well, see, you live your everyday life. You be inspired by God's word. There'll be times when the devil tempt you. You be tempted by the devil. For example, a man see a woman. A woman see a man. Or in today's society, some man being attracted to another man. A woman being attracted to another woman. Well, in your mind, yeah, you have, rights, in the Constitution to protect, all human beings, citizens from discrimination and harassment. See, in your mind, see, God told you about that too, about discrimination and harassment. See, there again, see, you got to love God with all your mind. When you see your fellow man begging for bread, need a job, so you got to love God with all your mind. The animals, treat the animals right. Protect the environment, nature and wildlife. See, in your mind. The things that you say out your mouth. In your mind. You love God with all your mind. And what else? It said, this is the first and great command. It's a commandment. And the second is like unto thee, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. See, that literature. That literature. See, when you love God with all your mind, that literature, you wouldn't have never wrote it. And you most certainly wouldn't adhere to it. Because see, it wasn't Jesus you were listening to. Because all the literature you need is right here in the Holy Bible. So why would you do that? See? And like I said, those verses are the greatest commandment in the law. It's Matthew chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. Mark chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. And Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 28. capital called letters is right here in front of you. It's nothing. It's nothing. See, there's no such thing as being a Christian. That's the reason why I put it there. There's no such thing as being a Christian. That's an insult. See, when somebody said that in the Bible, they were saying it to insult the church. They were calling you some kind of dog, some kind of name. They were trying to label you, and then you see the way they treat the church was being persecuted. They labeled you a Christian. See, when you read the book of Acts, John Mark, he went back to Jerusalem, and he went back and told the apostles what had happened. John Mark went back to Jerusalem and told the apostles what happened. And because of John Mark, Acts chapter 15, verse 22. Ain't no such thing as being a Christian. That was the end of it. Acts chapter 15, verse 20. That was the end of it. Ain't no such thing as being no Christian. See, there's a sorority and a fraternity. Don't let them influence you. It's wrong. There's no such thing as being a Christian. is wrong. Don't listen to the sorority fraternity. There's no such thing. That's not what it means when you see it in the Bible. The Apostle Peter, he told you the same thing. It's wrong. See, and there's another thing. See, when you be talking about Saul, Paul being an apostle, right here, 2 Peter, with that chapter 3, verses 14 through 8, the Apostle Peter exposed him. He ain't no apostle. He's not no apostle. The sorority and fraternity be lying. They be lying. No such thing as a Church of Christ. No such thing. Now, we've been going over the testimony of the police officer because he took testimony from Bertha Franklin, and the police officer was Wallace R. Cook. Now let's go over here to Bertha Franklin's testimony. Now we over here in Bertha Franklin's statement. Now she said that Mr. Cook. Now it says she said she heard someone knock on the door, and I told him to wait a minute, and I went to the window. You went to the window of your motel. Keep your voice up. Yes. And I didn't see anyone. And then what happened? Well, I came back and started my conversation all over again. She was on the telephone. And then did anyone else knock at the door? Yes. Who knocked at the door this time? If you know, Mr. Cook. What did Mr. Cook say? I got up and walked to the window. He never rang the bell. He knocked on the door. Keep your voice up. He didn't ring the bell. He knocked on the door. What did Mr. Cook say when he knocked on the door? Where is the girl? And what did you say? I told him I didn't see no girl. When he went down, he had on a light shirt. The collar was loose. Well, okay, talking about his clothes. Now, and it says here, And did you admit Mr. Cook to your apartment? No, I didn't. What did you tell Mr. Cook? I admit nobody to my apartment unless I know them. You know who they are. Everybody can't come into the office, especially at that time of the night. What did Mr. Cook say? He asked me where was the girl. He just kept saying, where's the girl? I told him I didn't know. He asked if he could see if she was in there. Then I said, listen, call the police. They will come. Those are the only people that can come in here. He said, damn the police, and then he started working with his shoulder. You are indicating for the record, was he forcing your door with his shoulder? Yes, he was. And how many times did he force your door, if you know, with his shoulder before he made entrance? Well, I just couldn't say because I can't say just how many times, but it wasn't long before he was in. And did you hear the sound of any lock breaking or boards breaking when he entered? Sure they broke. No, he broke the door down. No, he didn't break the door down. He broke the stripping off. You know where the lock is. He broke the lock off the door. The stripping downside the door, stripping on the side of the door. And the side slat, and the slide latch. That little thing that it slides into. He broke that off. And this lock, he broke it. And what did he do or you do after he entered? Broke the lock. What happened after he got in your apartment? When he walked in, he walked straight to the kitchen. And then he came back and went into the bedroom. Then he came out. Pay attention. I was standing there on the floor, and he grabbed both of my arms and started twisting them and asking me where was the girl. Now, for your clarification, Mr. Cook came out to the bedroom and grabbed both of your arms, yes. And you are demonstrating your wrist. What they saw after this episode, I am so all over now, and I am talking. Taking therapy treatment every other day. And did you return this physical force in the mouth? Yes, I did. That's what we want to get to. See, this is what we want to get to. Mr. Cook broke the door down. And then he went all through the park. So you ain't got to bring that up no more. Yeah, he tore the latch off in the lock and all that, yeah. And as you can see, he went to the kitchen and to the bedroom and all that. What was he doing that for? He was looking for that girl. Then what happened? He grabbed both her arms. Yeah, he grabbed both her arms. And as you can see, what did she say? And did you return this physical force in any amount? Yes, I did. That's self-defense. Tell the jury what you need. He was twisting my arm, and so we got into a tussle. That's self-defense. So finally, I fell to the floor. He fell on top of me. I don't know if I hit the table with my head or not to knock it, tipped over to the couch. So then I started kicking, and he may have a bite. I don't know. But I tried to bite him through that jacket. That's self-defense. That's self-defense. You tried to bite Mr. Cook. Yes, biting, scratching, and everything. What was Mr. Cook doing at this time? He was still twisting my arm and holding me down there on the floor. Finally, I got up when I kicked him. I think back toward the wall there. Then he ran back to me, and I pushed him back down. So at that time, I run and grabbed the pistol grabbed the gun off the TV, and I shot. Do you normally keep the pistol on top of the TV? I kept it handy most any place in the house where I can reach it. That's what we want to get to right there. That's what we want to get to right there. When you defended yourself, that was self-defense. When you kicked Mr. Cook off you, and then you ran and grabbed a gun, that's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. See, when you kicking and biting and all that, you got off the floor and all that. But after that, once you did that, and talking about you ran and grabbed a gun, see, that ain't self-defense. And let us not forget, you the manager. And this happened in the manager's quarters. See, you instigated, you provoked this whole situation by being an unqualified person in that position. When she fired the pistol, she shot 3 times. That ain't self-defense either. See, that's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. That's where I want to get to. This is where we want to get to. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. And again, always put God first. Always put God first. And like I said, gonna continue to work on Mr. Sam Cook's murder case, and as you see from Bertha Franklin's statement, that was not self-defense. That was not a justifiable homicide. When you got into a struggle, a tussle with Mr. Sam Cook, that was self-defense. You were scratching and biting. See, you didn't know the law. You didn't know the self-defense law. You fell down on the ground. Mr. Sam Cook fell on top of it, and you were scratching and biting and kicking. He grabbed both my arms. He was holding me down. Then I got him up off me. Then I got back up on my feet. And Mr. Sample, I kicked him to the wall. And then I ran and grabbed a gun. That's not self-defense. You ran and grabbed a gun. That's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. I sympathize with Miss Barbara Campbell Cook at the murder of Mr. Sam Cook, his mother, his father, his sister and brothers, his nieces and nephews, all of his children, all of his grandchildren, Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, all of her grandchildren, all her children, Miss Linda and Tracy. Friends, Mr. Lou Rawls, and in the highway QC, Mr. Johnny Taylor, who passed away some years ago. All the soul stirrers. Myself as a fan, my dad and mama. Mr. Sam Cook not a bad man. You understand? But Bertha Franklin did was wrong. You don't know all the law. You're not no damn lawyer. To be sitting up on the stand talking about your life, I feared my life. I knew what you were doing. As soon as I heard you running your damn mouth, I knew exactly what you would do to repeat what somebody told you to say. And what the grand jury did, that was wrong. That's a crime. It wasn't no justifiable homicide. As you can see, it wasn't no justification to shoot Mr. Sam Cooke because he grabbed your arm. How the hell you gonna say that? The man grabbed my arm. Yes, he grabbed your arm. There ain't no reason for you to go run and grab a gun. Mr. Sam Cooke was calling and telling me, I'm just looking for this girl. That's all I was doing. That's all he was doing. He was just looking for that girl. It ain't no reason for things to escalate. You being a manager, you unqualified, and there's laws about that, being a manager. Don't hold the motel. They owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook and Linda and Trace and all of Miss Sam Cook children and the family. They should have never said nothing like that to Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, talking about you got to pay some wrongful death lawsuit. It's the other way around. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money. A lot of money. And I'm gonna do everything I can to help. Because what you did was wrong. It was wrong. And I just read. It was wrong. I'm gonna continue to be an advocate of Mr. Sam Cooke and for the family. It was wrong. Like I said, you continue to always put God first. And when we end today's video again, my name is Eric D. Johnson. I was on my BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county sheriff. It's in the state of Tennessee. Thank all my fans, my support for every change. Until next time, take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the best.